What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Project Grow Show. We are here again for another episode, and we're very grateful to have you back with us today. Today is going to be very exciting because I have a special guest, somebody that is actually new to the company, new to Adrian Graphics Marketing, and hopefully will be a big part of this show and everything that we're doing in the future with our company. And I'm just really excited to just go ahead and get into it and announce it and share what the news is. So off to my left here is Mr. Bryan Oliver. Bryan, what's up, brother?
How you doing, Adrian?
Good, man.
Good.
It's really awesome to have you here.
Yeah, really glad to be on the show today, and also couldn't be happier to be a part of the team.
We're having fun already, right?
Absolutely, every day.
Yep. So Bryan's first week was this week. It's now Thursday that we're shooting this, and you've been here for 4 days, and we've already made tremendous progress, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I was really excited to join the team in here and excited to bring some experience that I have and learn from you guys and everyone that's on the team, and I think we've moved the ball forward already.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, you know, when you bring on somebody new to your team, if you're a business owner, you understand this. You want to set expectations up front, and you want to be able to make sure that that person is set up for success right out of the gate. So I did a lot of planning and preparing because I knew weeks in advance that he was coming here. I just wanted to make sure that I was set up as best as possible for him to be able to have as much success in his first week and going forward, second week, third week, and so on. And so I was lining things out, and I thought to myself, well, I'm either going to have him, train him and download everything in my brain as quickly as I can to get him to go out and do what I've been doing, or he can just shadow me and I could just show him what I've been doing firsthand and just take him alongside with me to meetings and calls and setting up these things that we've been doing all week. And that has seemed to be a lot more successful trying that a method than trying to teach and train somebody for a month on just the different tactics that I have. The best thing that he can help me do right now is to come alongside me and actually help me get more appointments. And then once he sees we do these appointments, we get sales rolling in, he'll pick up a rhythm of what we're doing. And hopefully in 3-4 weeks from now, you'll be able to go off on your own and do this yourself. So that's really what I'm most excited about so far for this week that I've seen has made a dramatic improvement on what I've tried in the past and just, trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. So I know we were going to get into a few things today, but the first thing was let's just let everybody know who you are, what you do, and get a little bit of your background.
Yeah, definitely. And before we do that, I want to thank you for going that route because there's a lot of things in that head over 14 years. Excuse me. I don't think I could have learned in a week, so I appreciate
right,
you.
Yeah, right. That's true.
But a little bit about me. Just like you, I'm a local kid,
Awesome.
Born and raised in Rockland. Rockland High School, then stayed in town, went to Sac State, was the goalkeeper for the soccer team there, trained with the Republic for a little bit, so had a very successful soccer career. That was a lot of fun, enjoyed that. Learned a lot of that working with a team and all through that.
Yeah.
Then I got my first taste of kind of the entrepreneurial side of things when I met a man named Mark Haney. And he and his son at a Republic game, and I got the opportunity to run day-to-day operations for their brand new startup limousine company.
Wow.
So kind of did that for 3 years, grew the company, was a great learning experience. Marcus was there to help me along the way. Mark was a mentor. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better people to be in my corner and to learn from, and I got to learn it day to day. And so kind of got to learn the best side of entrepreneurship without putting my money in there. So I was comfortable. So I don't know what it's truly like to be an entrepreneur because I didn't have skin in the game and I couldn't lose everything, but I did get to learn what it is like to grind day by day through that, which was a lot of fun and a great learning experience.
That's an amazing thing.
Yeah, and then after 3 years of doing that, we turned that company into a private transportation company, and then Mark pulled me over to be his right-hand man to help him grow his personal brand and to help with Haney Biz, where I produced his podcast, The Mark Haney Show, which was a lot of fun. And then I also got to run some events over there and got to really dive into the entrepreneurial scene, helping entrepreneurs, being some learning from the people in my company who have been who've run successful companies and stuff like that, watch them interact with them, how they help them, connecting them to leaders, to service providers, to investors. So I was information overload pretty much for about 2 years. Which was absolutely incredible. And then just about a week ago, or it was a month ago when we connected, and then now I'm here.
It's so amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, being in around and surrounding yourself with people like Mark and Marcus and just the tribe that he's built, really, right? I mean, he's got a tribe. It takes more than one person. Mark can't do all of the things. As incredible and as successful as he's been in his past, Mark's talent, you've talked about this, is being able to find and identify amazing people. Found you. Found Mark, he's got all these amazing people, Tim, and all these great people around in his circle, and so you got to learn from all these people, and basically went to school, right? I mean, that's better than a college degree. In my opinion.
I learned more. I probably learned more. Not probably. I definitely learned more in those 2 years than I did in my 5 years at Sac State.
Wow,
for sure. And yeah, Mark, his superpower is identifying people and their strengths and then putting them in the right position, which is absolutely incredible, which I've seen him do with people after people when he makes investments. I've seen him say, he's got a great idea, I just don't know if that person's going to work out. And he eventually it kind of fizzled out and didn't work. And then there are some companies he would invest into that would be a long shot that most people wouldn't, and he just knew deep down they were going to grind and they were never going to quit. And so I was in a position that most people would absolutely kill to be in.
Yeah.
And I am just beyond grateful to have that opportunity and to learn from someone, and not just a mentor, but he's also family. I've been integrated with the family of his and kind of hung out with them a lot and gotten to know them very closely. And so I respect him greatly as a mentor, but also as family.
Yeah. I mean, when you spend that much, we talked about this earlier today in a meeting, like when you spend that much time around a group of people, they become like your second family, aside from your parents and your significant other and your children and things like that. You're spending, I mean, we're going to spend, I've spent with Ian hundreds of hours already in just a short time period, and over the span of years, which, hopefully we're working together for years and years and years, that's thousands and thousands of hours. So you take that in consideration. These people are not just business colleagues that you're building relationships with. These are part of people that are helping you move your life forward, achieve great things that you want to do in your career. And I mean, there's just no monetary value you can put behind that. No,
there's really not. And if you're not in a good position for where you're working out and where you're working, that bleeds into every other part of your life, So it's hard to divide the two. So I've been very grateful to work previously at a place that was just all about growing and entrepreneurship and learning and letting you do things, and now coming over here, it's essentially the same thing, surrounded by great people. And that's why I was drawn to you, because you have I see a lot of things in you within Mark. You have a passion, you have a hunger, you surround yourself with great people. But not only that, what you and Mark share as well is you want to see the people around you succeed. It's not so much, I want to build a great business, I want to build something spectacular, but I want to bring everyone with me along the ride. If I can make all of you successful, that's going to make me more successful. And that's definitely something that drew me to Mark, and that's definitely something that has drawn me to you.
That, I believe, is truly where the fulfillment comes from. Everything that you talked about of all the entrepreneurship and making your business better and building a great brand and building a reputation, those are all byproducts, just like money, right? Those are just byproducts. Those are results from actually taking care of people and making an impact on the world. And I keep having these aha moments that happen. The more and more I surround myself with people like you and Ian and Chris and Amanda and everybody on the team, I keep having these aha visionary kind of moments where I'm like, wait a minute, if I help him become and reach his dreams, and I help her reach her dreams, and I make, what's going to be the byproduct of that? I learned really early on, if you hang out with 5 millionaires, you become the 6th. So if half of my team wants to become retired and wealthy, then what? And I'm surrounding myself with them every day, 40 hours a week, then what's going to be the byproduct of that? It's just natural. It's a natural byproduct. So people are chasing the dollar or they're chasing the success rather than just being present in the moment and just, how can I support you? And that's what I think is going to be so unique about our relationship, and similar to what I have with other people, but you are very entrepreneurial. You have that natural gifting, and I knew you had the work ethic. And I remember, this is going back over a year ago now, probably close to 2 years ago, I remember Mark and Danelle, your mom, or no, it wasn't Mark, it was Lance and Danelle having a conversation about you and going, Bryan works, my son works for Mark Haney. I'm like, who's your son? And she's like, it's Bryan. I'm like, what? That's your son? and Lance looked over me. He's like, he's got the dream job right there, working for Mark. And I was like, damn, he does have the dream job. Like, that's an amazing opportunity. So it's just looking back at that now, I'm able to kind of reflect and just have such a high level of gratitude for the fact that that was your dream job, even just a year and a half, 2 years ago. And now I'm so humbled that you're actually here, right? And you have a vision that you're bringing on board. You have a network that you've built. You have a relationships, experience, work. I mean, there's just so many dynamics to all these things that are going to be successful. But I think where this conversation is, where people are going to see the value in this the most, is how relationships can start simply like this, like it did with us, of, hey, we connected at one of my Tag Talks events, then I met your mom, built a relationship with her, proved results for all these different companies. She saw the results. I'm sure she was in your ear. I'm sure Mark's been in your ear. Like all these different people and you've seen what we've been doing on social media. You and I have contacted and connected at the events, like all these different things. And it's just small little moves forward. But now we're here at a place where we're diving into the pool together, right? And the success is going to be dependent on the expectations that we set up front. And I feel like as two people that are really focused on relationships, and that's where I'm kind of taking everything aside from the mentorship as relationship marketing, our relationship and setting those expectations for each other is what's going to determine how long we have a relationship for. So getting those things out of the way, like compensation, right? When you came on board, we had that first conversation on the phone. It was like, look, man, I'm at a great place in the company. We're growing in revenue, but I have to try and remain lean. And because of that, I know that you're worth 70, 80, 100,000. I mean, if it was my choice and I had millions, dude, I'd give you a 6-figure salary right out of the gate, right? Because I know that you're worth it. But you walking into this with your vision and also having your own work ethic and having your own ideas that you're bringing to the table, I was very honest and just said, hey, I want to ramp it up. Let's start at a lower number and work for month 2, month 3, month 4, and let's work you up to that goal. And give us some bandwidth and a runway rather than just like, here, I'm going to plop this, and now 30 days, 45 days into a huge salary, I'm like starting to sweat as a business owner, because who knows, not everything's going to go smooth from the beginning to the end. We're going to have speed bumps along the road. That's just part of the game, right? And that's just part of being a business owner. So throughout those struggles, now that we have a ramp-up period, it gives us both some skin in the game, because I'm committing to you to, hey, I'm committed to this. I'm going to put my money in because I believe in what you have to bring to the table, and you're doing the same for me. Hey, I'm willing to take a sacrifice and a pay cut to come here because I see your vision, I have a vision, and I think that we align with youth and mentorship and all those things. So those expectations that I have with you, and you have them equally with me. So I think that's important.
Yeah, definitely. And we, like you said, our first conversation we were candid with each other, and that's the most important part. And you were like, hey, this is where we're at. I can't pay you where you're at right now, but I want to. And like, I connected with you quickly and felt that connection. And I was like, yeah, I believe that for sure. And I knew, and I also know, coming from the world I came from, I also knew how startups work. So that's kind of like, okay, I realized that I'm going to have to take a little bit of a cut here, but I believe in you and I believe in the vision, and I got really excited about it. And not only that, it's like, okay, I want to be hungry to work for more. It's like, okay, I could easily just sit here and say, you know what, Adrian, that's not going to work. I'm worth this, and I can, you know what, just give me what I want. I'm worth it, and I'll make it worth your while. But that's not how startups work. That's not how growing companies work.
That's right.
As an entrepreneur and as an owner, you want people that are going to be hungry, that are willing to be there during the times maybe that it isn't the greatest, and work through those times to get to the end of the road and get to what they may be worth, or what that it's. I've always had kind of that vision when I was with Mark too. It's a long-term play. Like I could get a set of skills and go work for a corporation for $75,000 a year with a great pension and this and that, and just be comfortable for the rest of my life. But that's not what I want. Like I love being fast-paced. I love new things. It's hard for me to sit in one place in one time, and to be able to work towards something and to grow with something and to actually have a big impact on something instead of a small impact is very exciting to me. And that's why I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's go.
Let's do this. Yeah, and I think that just the combination of your hunger, your work ethic, your resources and experience you've built. When you have the experience that you do, you're able to see those opportunities clearly and align yourself with those people. And you can see that, like, once again, the money is just the byproduct, right? That's just to keep us going and keep us fueled up and give us what we need to keep a roof over our head, food in our bellies. And obviously we have much bigger plans. If we can build something like we're going to talk about here in the next few minutes, where we can sell for 6, 7, 8, 10 figures, who knows how much we can get for this company? Who knows? Maybe we build $1 billion company together. We don't even know. I know we have huge visions that we can accomplish together, but I think establishing those foundations of what we're going to build this this house on essentially is the key. And if you build it on freaking sand, what's going to happen? You know, and I think a lot of people are afraid to share those expectations because they think it's going to push people away.
Yep.
It's not comfortable for me to be able to say, hey man, I can't afford to pay you $60,000 a year right now. I just don't have the revenue to do that yet. That sucks as a business owner, especially when you know you have someone that's so talented. But for you to come back and be like, look, man, that's okay. I'm flexible. I see the opportunity here. I'm willing to work with you. And I know that we can ramp this thing up because what I can bring to the table, like you had confidence, you believed in yourself enough to know that if you came in here and did what you knew how to do, that the money would come.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a beautiful thing, dude.
And also for me, for you to open up and be vulnerable and share that, because not a lot of CEOs would sit there and say that they couldn't do something or share where they're at to someone that they've just talked to on the phone a couple of times, where they're at revenue wise and what they can afford and what they can't afford. But that showed me that you are open, you are honest, you are there for your team, like you are committed to your team, and your team is, like you said, essentially a second family.
Yep.
And that's kind of what is important to me. Like, it's the relationships, it's the people. Like, I would much rather go to war with you, go to business with you, and get paid less than go to war, go into business with someone I don't relate with, I don't connect with, our core values don't align, and I don't have that shared vision with. It's not worth it to me.
All you are is a number at the bottom of the sales sheet, right?
Exactly.
Those are. I've been in those relationships and I've been in those situations, and that's why I can't ever be in. That's why I'm a business owner, because you're just a number, you're just a cog in the wheel, and you know, trying to make decisions, and you see things clearly that are wrong, and then you give your input, and it's like, oh, you got to earn your reputation, and you're like, dude, I've been doing this for 15 years. I know, like, I can run circles around everything that you guys are doing right now. And not to be an ego play, but like, dude, I've been doing this. You guys just started doing this 2 years ago. I've been doing this for 14.
Yep.
Like, there's a huge difference here. There's a gap, and I'm trying to help you guys fill it. And you're either going to take and be coachable, or you're just going to say, you got to prove your street cred. There's just like, there's that, what do they call that in business? There's like that hierarchy, but there's also the politics.
Yep.
Of being in a corporation. And that's the one thing I can't stand. I don't want in my business. I don't want to be involved with that, is the employee mindset. When I agreed for you to come here and you agreed to come here and we made that mutual handshake and agreement, I had the expectations and you had the expectations. If you're coming in here as a future partner, right? Not that I'm just handing you a partnership because you are who you are, but you're willing to make the commitment and make the sacrifice up front for that future partnership, because I'm not interested in employees. I want partners. Because that's what moves the needle. Because people that have skin in the game, people that they get to have part of the upside. If you come in here and help me build a 7-figure business, why should you not have part of the upside? I know a lot of companies do like stock and shares and stuff like that, but having equity, like actual equity in a company, is a whole nother level of that partnership, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the incentive, the hunger to work for more, to do that. And that's kind of the mindset that I had coming in here, was like, I'm really excited to get to know the team, because I knew you, and I knew that you surrounded yourself with great people, and I was like, I can't wait to get to know everyone. And I was like, in 3 months, I want to establish myself as kind of a leadership role type of thing, because that's who I am, because I know my capabilities, I know what Adrian Graphics is capable of, and I want to be a huge part of that. And I was just really, whether I get equity or whether I do or don't, I wanted to come in as kind of a leadership role and take that, because I know what I'm capable of, and I want to just do great things.
Yeah. And you know, something else that occurred to me is the preparation and the work that it took to get to be able to have that thought that came into your mind, like, man, I see what he's doing, I see his vision, and to move your eyes from the dream job, right, like Lance said, to a whole nother thing. Like, it wasn't a grass is green on the other side. This was you developing yourself. So before we go into the vision, I think it's really important for people to be able to listen to this piece of, like, what was the preparation and the investment that you made in yourself to get to where you are literally at this moment, to put you in this seat right now.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it was a long, but it was a fun road. I really enjoyed it. A lot of late nights with the limo, a lot of fun times. Got to drive some pretty cool people, but there are some horror stories. But no, it was, as I told you in our first phone conversation, like, I am a jack of all trades and a master of none. Like, over with Mark, I was doing a little bit of everything, and it was phenomenal, because I was just learning everything about how to run a business, how to communicate, how to create relationships, like just surface level on everything, which was fantastic. And then COVID hit and I was like, man, I am not a master of anything. I really want to develop a skill and a deep enough skill to add true value to a company, because I added value, but I wanted to add true value to take a company to another level. And so I've been doing marketing with Mark, and kind of that's been my interest in everything like that. So I dove into that on online courses, and took a bunch of online courses when we were sheltering in place, and then was like, okay, you learn best by doing it, and the second best way to learn things is by learning from those who have been there, done that. So what I started to do is reach out to other people who have built successful marketing companies, and just said, hey, can I pick your brain? Because I've been very lucky to build a great network with where I've been, and so just started calling people and said, hey, can I do an informational interview? I want to learn how you built your company, how you did this, because I want to just learn about this. And so you were on that list, and I started talking to you, and when we were talking, we really connected, and I really loved what you were doing. I loved your vision. And basically also everything you had to do with kids, that really resonated with me. How you want to help youth, that's what drives you. It's not, I want to make a 7-figure business, exit, and then I'm going to be chilling. No, your drive is to help young kids, and resonates with me tremendously, because I've trained youth goalkeepers for 10 years. And that has been one of the biggest, most fulfilling things in my life, helping them get to that next stage. And I missed it so much that I stopped for a little while, and I missed the individual part that I joined Big Brother, Big Sister. So I have a little brother named Caleb, and so that is a huge part of my life. I'm just a big kid, and I love having fun and do that stuff. So when you said that, I was like, I love that. I want to be a part of that. And also why I'm sitting in this chair is my hunger to deepen my knowledge in the space of marketing. I saw an opportunity to come over here, not just to learn by experience, but to learn from you as a mentor, and to pick your brain every single day and see what you do, because that's the field I wanted to go into. And you've been doing it for 14 years, and you've built an incredible agency, and you've just done it through blood, sweat, and tears, and just forced your way through everything, and learned everything, and you're taking everything and putting it on paper, a blueprint. And I was like, I can help, but more than that, I want to learn.
I think what's cool about that is we have common core values. That's a key to the whole thing that would spark the conversation. I was genuinely interested in the conversations that we were having without any idea that you had it in your mind to come work with me. I just admired where you were, who you were connected to, and who your mom was, right? And that had a little piece to do with it. Seeing how incredible of a human being she is, I was like, this guy, every encounter I've had with this guy since day one, like your smiling face from when we were at the first Tag Talks event, you stood out to me, right? There was just a connection there from the very beginning, but it's timing, right? I could have approached you after Tag Talks and been like, hey man, you ever thought about doing, you know what I mean? I've done that with people, but it's God's timing, it's the universe's timing, however you want to put that together. And so the timing happened to line up perfectly. And from crisis comes opportunity. And you said it, COVID happened, and you decided to dive in deeper on yourself and make the investment. Courses aren't free, right?
Nope.
Bryan Bouchard's course wasn't free. How much of an investment did you make?
Oh, I did his one-on-one coaching programs, $6,000 just for that, for three months one-on-one.
You know how many people are scared to invest $6,000 into themselves in a course?
Yeah, it was definitely scary. It was something that I thought about, and it wasn't easy. But I mean, I know that, I mean, coming from the athletic background, you look at the best athletes in the world: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe, everyone through all sports. They have a coach at the highest level in every aspect of their life, because they know that they need that in order to get to that next level, to keep pushing. And so I knew that if I wanted to accelerate my growth and get to that next level faster, I needed to hire myself a coach. And I knew, it may take a little while for me to recoup that money, but the best investment that you can ever make is in yourself. And I took that gamble, and I honestly can say with confidence, I would not be sitting in this chair had I not signed up for that program. Beautiful. Because of the confidence, the courage, and everything that it gave me to step outside of my comfort zone and have the conversations and do the things that I would have never done on my own. Pushed me to do that. Because
the common thing that we have aside from our core values is you have the vision. And what I see in that is you weren't short-sighted, which I think a lot of that fear that people have is a short-sighted fear, like, oh, I got to put out $6,000 and then I'm not going to have enough, my safety net or my nest egg is going to be depleted, versus you looking at it, it's like, if this $6,000 I spend and I lose it, at least I'm going to learn something in the process. I'll never do that again, right? And in the best case scenario, you look at the worst case scenario and the best case scenario is you end up sitting in a chair with a guy that in 5 years from now, you're exiting a company for 8 figures or 10 figures or a $1 billion company. Who knows what we're going to do? And then you look back at that $6,000 investment in however many years, and you go, man, that was the best investment I've ever made in my entire freaking life.
Yep.
Was that $6,000? You know, I bought a car and lost $6,000 when I drove off the lot.
Yeah.
What's the difference in investing into myself, right? There's a huge difference. So I think that fear that you overcame, because everybody's going to have that second guess. I did it myself. I bought a $5,800 course, and I remember the guy being, what's your credit card number? Like 13 seconds into the phone call, and I was like, dang! And I gave him the number right on the phone, and that, I'm not exaggerating, on that $5,800 investment I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not close to $1 million in sales off of that training.
Yeah, that's, and that's not going to be the last course you take. That's not going to be
right.
the last coach I have. I mean, just because, I just finished my one-on-one coaching, and it's like, I'm like hungry to continue because I know what it's going to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that's how we are, and that's what I love. And I push you, you push me. That's what keeps it going. That's what fuels it, and that's what makes me really excited about what we have going on.
It's true. And I think if you want to be a great leader, you want to be a great CEO, because even though I'm the CEO of this company, like I said, I want to do a partnership, being able to push each other and still in my place, and this is what I admire about him so much, is he's, since day one, since he started with Mark, all the way until now, and I'm sure for years to come, he's a student. You never stopped being a student. Nope. You're still a student. I'm still a student. And when you remain open-minded and you remain coachable, that's when the growth happens. And I'm going to continue to grow and get better as a leader, as a boss, as dealing with conflict like we deal with today and other days, and just being able to understand red flags and identify. There's always things. I mean, I've said it before, entrepreneurship and business ownership is the greatest path to self-improvement.
Yep.
It tests you on every level. Like when I think that I'm easy going, I'm like a water and everything just flows through me, and then I get hit blindsided by something and I'm like, and I'm like, wait a minute, why did I let that affect me so much? I thought I had it all under control.
Yep.
You learn things about yourself, and you let your guard down and you let people in, and you forget about the red flags and things like that. And those are just learning opportunities in crisis, just like COVID. COVID was a crisis, but look at the opportunity that it's brought.
And I'd like to add in there that not everyone's made to be an entrepreneur, right? So it's tough to learn those lessons and go on that journey. But myself, and I'm not that person. Like for me to go be a solopreneur, that's not in my DNA. I know that.
Yeah.
But what people can do, and what I have done, is I have surrounded myself and I've put myself by the people that are like that, that push me, that make me see that vision, that make me want more, that make me have that hunger, that vision of an entrepreneur, but not having to go and do that, because that's tough for me. I'm a very team-oriented person. Like what I've discovered through this past year or so is that I've thought about going off on my own and doing a business, but it doesn't excite me. I can't get excited enough to get over those humps and to grind every single day when it's hard. But what I can do is I'm the best second man you'll ever find. Attach me to someone with a vision. Attach me to the person that has passion. Attach me to the person that has drive and grit that's going to get over and through any wall, and I'll lock arms with you and I will go through any wall with you.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. And we did that DISC personality test. I don't know if I ever gave you the results.
No, I haven't seen them yet.
So your DISC personality test came back as the advisor.
Okay.
And I could not have nailed it on the head any better. And what you just described about yourself is literally that. Like, beyond just the sales side of what you're going to bring to the table is I'm going to look at you as one of my advisors. Like, you're going to be the board of directors. You're going to be the partner. Like, you are my second man, and that is what I need with the visionary, the idea. I need somebody that, like Ian, is going to be like, no, that's not a good idea. And I go, okay. And I just know, and I could trust, and I don't even have to second guess. Like, what do you mean it's not a good idea? Like, I'm not that guy. And I'm going to go, okay, cool. And I can trust, and that is what you're there for. And if I'm so bullheaded, which I'm sure there will be moments over our years where I'm going to have an idea and I'm going to be headstrong about it, and you're going to have to push a little bit more resistance towards me. But That's just the natural personality that you have in the DISC test. And I remember in the DISC is one of your highest levels was steady. And that really matches up with what you did with Mark, is you were loyal, you're steady, you're consistent, you always produce, and you don't have these huge waves that I can always count that we're just going to have. There may be bad days and bad moments, but we're always going to continue to rise together. And that's so freaking exciting to me to have that, because I think what a lot of business owners, and there's going to be people that watch this, what they're afraid of and why they don't scale and they stay solo is because they're afraid of somebody like you. Because what I did when I brought you on, and what a lot of people should take away from this, is I hired somebody that's better than myself. That's the reality. And the fact that I can rely on somebody that's better than myself in certain areas, like you pulling apart and picking apart the Instagraphics Academy course and all of that, like that's going to make our company better, and being able to help us become more well-rounded. I don't have the fear in my mind, because I'm tying you in with all that, of you going off and taking it and doing it on your own. And I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are so afraid of them sharing what they're doing, and then people going and running off with that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And that's where, I mean, we had a connection, and the reason why we hit it off so quick is, one, you knew my mom very well, so you knew my values, you knew where I came from. Your business partner Lance knows who I am and stuff. You know Mark, you've seen me, stuff like that. But I wouldn't suggest someone to go and hire someone as a second and give them that type of freedom and that type of access right away, though. You know, that's kind of a learning process.
Yeah.
Because going into business, whether it's equity or not, or treating someone like that, is like a marriage. And that's why the most successful people surround themselves with people that are better than them. I mean, that's what Mark did when he was very successful in his previous companies. Yep. That's what he's doing now, and that's what you're doing here. If you just hire people that are worse than you, then what type of product and what type of service are you going to provide?
That's right.
If you're just in business to prove that you're better than everyone, then what are you doing?
It's not about ego.
No, not at all. You got to put that aside. It's about developing people. It's about developing a product or a service that is then going to solve people's problems and help people.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I agree with that. And that's powerful stuff. So with all that being said, I think what a lot of people are probably wondering is what the heck we have cooking up. What are we going to do?
Got to go find out what's in the oven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got some really good stuff. I'm really excited. We've been talking a lot this week. We've been dreaming a lot this week, which is exciting. I came on in my initial role to do sales and marketing consulting, which I'm really excited about. So really going to take the bull by the horns there and grow that, and try and really empower companies to, because unfortunately these days marketing has a bad name.
It does.
Which is unfortunate, because it is necessary in order to grow a company. But there's just so many people out there, and it's true in a lot of industries, the snake oil salesmen and stuff like that. But what we're hoping to do, and what I want to go out there and do, is really empower these companies to give them the knowledge to understand marketing in a way that they can then go off on their own and hire our agency or hire another agency, but understand what they're looking for and understand what quality is, so that they can go and grow and not have to be worried about, did I hire the right person or did I do that type of stuff. So it's the power is in the knowledge. So I want to go empower our clients on the consulting side.
Beautiful.
So that way they can then take that knowledge and do what they want with it, hire who they want with it. If they, hey, would I love for you to hire us in our fulfillment side?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, I would, of course, definitely. Yep. But you know what? That's not going to be it every time.
Yep.
But if we can give them the knowledge that they need to then go and grow and do great things, that's perfectly fine with me.
The breakthroughs, the new revenues, the systems, better processes. I mean, we're working through with some people right now. And it's like, I'm even learning how to become a better consultant just by having you at these meetings. And that's, as a consultant, I want to continue to develop, because I don't have 14 years of being a consultant. I have 14 years of being a marketer, right? And being a branding guy. And so now I'm learning how to really put on that consulting hat, and you're coming on pretty early into that with me, and we're going to be able to really fine tune and refine that, and you're going to spot things that I just haven't been able to see. Like, hey, this is kind of jumping from spot to spot to spot. If we can come in with more of a specific agenda with these, and we can be more effective, we can go deeper, and those kinds of things, which is just going to create more value for the clients. It's going to create more breakthrough for the clients, and it's just going to give us a better reputation and bring us more referrals, and it's just going to help the industry. And that's really, I think, the ultimate goal is the byproduct is going to help us, but it's also going to help the industry as a whole, and we're going to be able to kind of reverse the snake oil and reverse the dark side of marketing and start to turn things around the other direction with what we're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they're always going to be out there.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. But I mean, again, it's in the knowledge. If you know what to look for, if you know what you need, if you know what you want, and you know everything that with that, you're gonna have what you need to go, and then find the right people, and then not even have to deal with that stuff anymore. Yeah. And that's the goal. And then besides that, I'm really excited to work, and that meeting today was awesome, by the way. Yeah. But really growing the team on the consulting side. So I've kind of would love to grow that team and foster it and kind of lead that team and lead that and grow them, so that way we can provide more value. Really excited to be a part of a growing team and actually mentor and advise those people. Yeah. And really excited to share what I've learned and what I'm going to learn and try and grow our company. But hey, if we can multiply ourselves, we're going to have a much bigger impact than if we just went off and said, hey, employee A, go do this. Hey, employee, go do that. And been listening to John Maxwell's podcast. His goal in life is to great leadership. He's got one of the biggest leadership programs in the entire world. Incredible man. His philosophy is to have the biggest impact in the world, you need to create the most leaders in the world. It's investment into people. Yep. And that's what I'm really interested in growing this consulting side, is really putting that investment into the people that come onto this team so that they can go and thrive, change their lives, and change the lives of our clients.
That's right. And that's a huge deal. I mean, I think first our family, our loved ones come first, right? And then the people that we work with should come second. And then real close to that is our clients. I mean, being able to watch them go from, struggling businesses like the smog shop I told you about, going from 2 to 3 smogs a week to 30 smogs a day. I mean, think about, he goes from losing thousands of dollars to making thousands of dollars. And now he's been with us for nearly 5 years, and we've built beyond just a business relationship. Like when I needed to move from my tiny little apartment while I was struggling to my house in Lincoln that I moved to in 2018, I called him up and he's like, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And the guy showed up in his freaking shorts and a freaking t-shirt and flip-flops and his socks and helped me lift these huge, heavy couches over my balcony, this tight little freaking rinky-dink apartment in Rockland, and helped me lift furniture and load it in. I mean, dang. I was blown away. That's amazing relationship.
That's a relationship right
there. What client can you call up right now as a marketer or as a business owner and go, hey, can you come help me move? And they're like, sure, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like,
most people's friends wouldn't do that.
Most people's friends don't do that. So that just shows you the kind of people that we're attracting as a business, but also the relationships that we're building and how strong they are. If he has an issue at his business, or he runs into an issue with his ads, or all of a sudden business just stops, what's going to be this decision? Is he just going to immediately cancel and be like, screw this, I'm done with these guys? No, he's going to be calling me up like, man, what can I do? How can I? He's going to be more apt to wanting to help and work through and work together in our relationship, because he knows he doesn't want to throw away those 5 years. Yeah. We've done so many amazing things together. There's no way he's just going to toss that away and be like, oh, I'm going to go find somebody cheaper now. Yeah. That's just not going to happen.
No, that doesn't happen when you know, like, and trust someone.
That's right.
Right?
That's
definitely. Right. I mean, price definitely plays a factor. I mean, you're running a business, you do need to be profitable and yada, yada, yada.
Of course.
But when you know, like, and trust someone, they're worth that extra bit, especially when their services and their product and what they produce for you is top notch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And he went and came and helped you move because he knew that you would do the exact same thing for him.
Oh, yeah. In a heartbeat.
It's not just you do great work and you've built a client employer relationship or whatever it is. It's, I like you as a person. I'm connecting with you as a human. I'm getting to know you. I'm really getting to connect with you and know you.
Yep.
On a deeper level.
And I want to serve you.
No, exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, you're paying me to do marketing, but also hey, I'm here for you as a human and as a friend.
Thanks for helping put food on my table,
Yep.
provide for my beautiful daughter, put a roof over my, like all of these things. It's been 5 years of consistent. I haven't raised my prices on them. Like, like there's a lot of people that go about business relationships and like, how can I get more money out of this guy? How can I get more money? Dude, that guy's brought me 3 or 4 or 5 clients over the last couple of years. Yep. I don't need to jack up my prices on him. I just want to take care of him, always make sure that he's got what he needs. And if he struggles, then if I have to, I'll give him a month for free.
Yeah.
Because I know long term, if he's with me for 20 years versus, okay, he goes through a tough point and I'm like, sorry, man, you got to pay your bill. And he's like, man, I'm just going to have to go to something cheaper because I'm between a rock and a hard spot. I don't want to lose that guy.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to have the give and take, like I've talked about on many occasions, and just truly being there for somebody and putting them first. The right people will take care of you, and the wrong people, as we know, are going to do the opposite. So, and those are the people that you just got to get rid of as quick as possible. I'm really starting to come to terms with that. I try to like save people or give people second chances, and I've given people so much rope. And they just hang themselves with it, and I'm like, oh no, here, let me, I'm like, and they're doing it to themselves, right? And I'm like, I just got to stop doing that. I got to stop enabling those kinds of behaviors, and just be able to put my foot down because my boundaries are important. Your boundaries are important. So I think that's great. And then, moving from that and building these relationships, I think we're going to garner new relationships together. Ones that you've already built, ones that I've already built, but then also ones that we're going to find together, which is going to be exciting for us. Where we'll be able to have, huge partnerships, ventures, who knows what's going to come from all that. And then, really the gist of it is we're going to start doing more of these Project Grow interviews, but also filming them live, which is awesome. So I'm going to grow from that. You're going to grow from. We're going to learn how to do live shows. And we're going to get a switcher. We're going to make more investments into building this presence and building stuff because I believe in what we're doing on the mentorship side, and I believe in what we're doing on the relationship side. And so I know that this is going to work. It's just I just have 100% belief. You wouldn't be here if that wasn't. You were kind of like the proof. I knew I was already moving in the right direction. Because I've been seeing the needle move for the last year and a half, 2 years since I got Amanda and Chris and the processes we put into place. And now everything is to the point where I was like telling my wife about a month ago, I'm like, I'm right there at that point where I've worked myself out of a job. And that's like one of the most fulfilling feelings after grinding so hard for so many years, countless sleepless nights. I mean, I don't even know if I were to tally up all the nights that I just pulled 24-hour shifts, just trying to be successful and trying to make a living. And now I'm like, wow, I've finally gotten to the place where maybe financially we haven't hit that 7-figure in a year goal, but I've created a business model now that is self-sustaining to where I could step out of it for a week and go on a vacation or deal with a family crisis or death or whatever the situation is. And I know that I have people that are still going to keep the ball moving forward on that business.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of companies hit that block, because if you're, especially if you're looking to sell the company, there is literally no value in a company if you take the owner, CEO out or a key integral player and it stops.
Yeah.
Like there's no value. You can't sell that because everything lives and breathes inside of their head. It lives and breathes with them. And a lot of people are also scared to work themselves out of job because that's where they're comfortable. Like you were a graphic designer at heart. That's what you did for the longest time. That's what you still love to do.
I still love to do it.
Still love to do it. A lot of people are like, well, if I work myself out of that job, what will I do?
Yeah, what is my worth?
Yeah, what is my worth? That's what I'm putting my worth into when you need to be, if you want to grow something special, if you want to be able to take that vacation while still having income come in and not stopping the jobs, I need to surround myself with people that are, first of all, I need to surround myself with people that fill in the gaps that I don't have at first. Those first that first person is probably one of the most key people you could ever hire. And it can't be someone like you because they need to fill in gaps where you suck.
That would be Amanda.
And so that's where it starts. And then as you start to fill out the team where you're not as good, then you bring in the people that are good in yours. So that frees up your time. Like you weren't seeing, I'm gonna guess you weren't seeing real success until you realized hey, I'm a salesperson.
Yeah,
We actually were talking about this earlier this week. Yeah, you
that's
said
a fact.
You said I'm not a salesperson. I don't like being a salesperson.
I don't like the connotation.
I don't
of
like
sales.
it. But you know what? And eventually you're like, you know what? I'm a salesperson. You owned it.
Yep.
You let the graphic design go to other people. You let the fulfillment go to your team. You trusted your team, and you said, you know what? I'm a salesperson. And then you started producing.
Yep.
You started selling. So
Yep.
that means you could bring on more people because you were dedicated to that, and you needed more people to fulfill, and that's how you grow.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that too is bringing on Amanda, and she was all about the details, and I'm not the detail guy. I know what it will take to execute it.
I'm
I
not
have
sure
the vision
which
for it.
visionary is a detailed guy.
Yeah,
I have
right.
yet to meet one.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have the personality and the patience for all the details, but Amanda did. So she was the first one. I'd have these calls with her on my way to work, the temporary job I was working at in 2018. And I would call her and just ramble off everything that I had in my head. She's like, cool. And then she'd call me like 2 hours later. It's all done. And I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like that would have taken me a week, right? And then we brought on Chris really shortly after, and Chris was like, cool, I'll execute it. And she would pass off the details to him, and he would get it done. And I'm like, dude, this is amazing. So I started to see the pieces starting to fall in line. And Chris is like, and I kept telling Chris, dude, I need to get you to the point where you can just start delegating and doing what I'm doing, so we all can get out of it, and we can just all become delegators, and we can go find artists and copywriters and web designers, and we just oversee and make sure they're being done to our standards, because you're a better web designer than I am. I'm a better graphic designer than you are. She's a better detail-oriented project manager than I am. Like we all have these strengths that all create the pillars of the business, which a lot of people don't think about those pillars. Operations, sales, marketing, fulfillment, all these different parts that are just so important to the growth. And so now that I've done that, Chris said something to me, it was like about a month and a half ago, and I hadn't really thought about it this way, I think, to the level that he did. He goes, dude, I'll tell you right now, all I've been trying to do is help you win. He's like, I just figured if I could help make you as successful as possible, that we would all be successful. And I'm like, dude, what an amazing mindset, right? Is his whole mission was to help me become as successful as possible.
And that's what you're doing for him.
That's exactly what I'm doing for him. So with that mentality and mindset, is I'm trying to serve him as best as I can. And when he's like, hey man, I need more money, sure, no problem. And when I'm like, hey man, I need more web designs, or I need you to delegate, he's like, cool, I'll make it happen. And so we push each other a little bit, but we always, like he told me the other day, and it was such a humbling thing. He's like, dude, since I started working with you, you've never let me down. And that to me was like the greatest. No amount of money could ever equal that statement right there. Like I've brought it up like 3 times now because it's just so meaningful to me. And it's like, dude, I haven't let you down. And like that's what a lot of us fear is like we're going to bring on all these people and then we're not going to be able to hang on to it, and we're going to fail, and then we're going to let all these people down. And if you have the right people on your team, and they're really dedicated, and they have the work ethic, and they have the right systems in place, and you set them up for success, man, you're not gonna have that. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna have that failure, and you might have challenges, but as long as you have that relationship and that foundation like we're building, you'll get right through them. So that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And come full circle, being transparent, hey, let's set those boundaries. Hey, let's have that uncomfortable conversation. I mean, let's look back at, there's a lot of companies out there that are going through some struggles right now. And if you have a team like we have right now, heck, if we were one of those companies that said, hey, we need to do something, and we need to, obviously there's people that can't go lower than what they need to provide, but I know that when you have a team like we do, if you hit some hard times, they're willing to sacrifice to get through those hard times, because they know what's on the other side with this team. They will do what it takes to endure the hard times to then get out of it and grow and become even stronger.
Yeah, that foundation, and they know that everybody's out for each other, that we're literally a true full-fledged team. And that's why I have to, as a leader, get better myself and have accountability for removing those people that are going to interfere with that pack, people that want to come into the team and disrupt that. And I'm now becoming very protective of that.
Yeah, and you can, but also you're creating a culture to where everyone else on the team is aware of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got to create that culture. It's not on you. It's on everyone. You know?
For sure.
And that's the beautiful thing about having a team like we have, and a lot of companies have. But it's building that culture that is so strong, and that everyone can kind of sense when maybe someone doesn't fit in, and hey, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
But it's building that culture to where, hey, you'll know when someone fits in and when someone doesn't.
And if I don't catch it,
Yep.
Ian will catch it. And,
Yep.
and Ian's got enough love and passion and commitment to our team to be like, hey, let's do this. You know, let's this guy is not the right person for your team.
Yep.
And so being able to have that level of transparency with each other, being able to make those difficult or have those difficult conversations like, hey man, it may not be my place, but I just want to let you know that I don't think this guy has our best interest at heart, right? Those are tough conversations to have for anybody.
Yep.
And to be able to put yourself out there, that just again reaffirms the foundation and the culture and the team that we've built. So I'm just super excited for that. I think closing it all out, just kind of wrapping up all the thoughts and everything, we talked about the consulting side that you're going to bring to the table. We've talked about going live with these Project Growth shows and learning how to do live streaming and pick up more of that again. The last piece that I think I'd love to share with everybody is the training and the academy and really the mentorship side of this thing.
Yeah.
That you've kind of been helping me dissect. So let's just chat just for a minute about that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have your passion is mentorship, and I believe that's I know that's mine too, which I'm really excited about. This piece is really helping those out there that, I mean, we're basically creating something through what your journey, you know, what your struggles were, what you overcame, and now your success is, which is really exciting because you can really connect with all those creative budding entrepreneurs that are freelancers that can't get over that next hump to an actual agency to create that income that they can really change their lives.
Yep.
And so really excited to put together that program to help put that together with you and Ian and whoever else we bring onto the team and is involved with that, because that's going to change a lot of people's lives, and I'm really excited about that.
Yeah. That's exciting. I mean, we're going to have this course. We have basically been able to break it into, instead of it being 8 weeks, through Brian's help, I've been able to identify, man, I only need to really have 4 weeks of this up front. This is the gold, juiciest nuggets of it, and then this could be part 2 of it. And so I now it's going to make it a lot easier for us to film this and segment it into a smaller chunk. And that's really the real value that's going to happen, where it's going to pay for the first course and the second course. Once somebody takes this first one, they're going to realize real quick, oh man, if this is what the first one's like, I can't even imagine what the second one's like. So we're going to release that into 2 parts, into 2 different courses. And it's going to be a lot quicker for us to produce and record and create. And a lot of the stuff that I teach on the YouTube channel that you guys are following is going to be very similar, but we're going to actually get to go deeper, which is really exciting, a little bit more in-depth into the topics and how we can really uncover some of the things that these fears, these mindsets, these tactics, strategies, all that stuff. So
yeah, definitely. You're here on the channel, we talk about the what and the why. In that academy, we're going to talk about the how. We're going to really dive in deep, and we're going to really give you a lot of value. And what I'm really excited about is to see the community that we actually create, the culture, the all the great people with all the cool visions and everything like that. Seeing that community come together as well.
Man,
right, let's go.
Talk about community. I love people, and I think that's another core value that we both have, is we just love people.
Yep.
And I think everybody that I have here, if they just don't love people, it's just time to go, man. Like if you're not a huge fan and want to help people and love people and take care of people and see people have breakthrough, you know, being able to lift somebody up is the biggest thing. And that's literally part of the Project Grow show intro of this, is that guy helping the other guy climb up the mountain, right? Yeah. And so that's what I'm here to help you do. Is you may have more skills in climbing a mountain, but I'm going to help you climb up the business mountain with me and bring you up with me, and we're gonna scale this thing together. So you may be able to spot, hey, watch out for that rock, you know, and we're gonna catch each other. And so I'm just excited, man. I'm grateful that we got to do this together.
Yeah, me too.
I'm excited to see the journey. This will be kind of like a time capsule. We'll see here where the date that we're at today, and we'll be able to look back and do another one. Hopefully not too late, but maybe in a year from now, we'll be able to look back and go, man, look where we were a year ago. Look where this started. Look at the foundation that we laid publicly for everybody to see. And now look where we're at. And I know it's going to be amazing for you guys to see. And I'm just excited for you guys to be here with us on this journey, that you guys are watching this video with us, that you guys have been along for the ride. And if this is your first time, please make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It's really important. It helps us with YouTube algorithm, helps us just get more traffic to the channel, just helps us get more exposure, because we're doing some incredible things. We're making waves, and we're going to make some big old waves. You just watch. So when you get a bunch of people like us that are all like-minded, have good core values, and are driven to make a change in the world, there's really not a whole lot of stuff that's going to be able to stop that. So even COVID. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure. And just stay tuned with us. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next one. And as always, keep looking up.